Hello students, welcome to English Literature Pathshala. I am going to explain today and discuss rather with you one of the important texts of Indian English literature. Now this is a text which I will discuss with you. This is the novel Bye Blackbird by Anita Desai. This novel is prescribed in MA third semester in Indian English literature paper. Now you just buy this novel. This is available in paperback. You can easily get it in the market, and not very thick. It has around 230 230 pages. You can easily read this novel. Very interesting novel is this. So just go through this text, and it is a difficult task to explain the novel, but I am discussing it with you. But buy this text if you have not got it so far, and go through it, and then you will understand the novel well. Now before discussing the novel, let me tell you something about the novelist Anita Desai. So I'll give a brief introduction to the novelist, and then I'll come to the text. Now Anita Desai is one of the best known contemporary women writers of Indian fiction in English. If you just read the biography of the writer, then you will find out that she was born to a Bengali father and a German mother. She is an excellent example of the bicultural heritage of the post-colonial India. She grew up in Delhi, receiving her education first at Queen's Mary School and later at Merinda House, one of Delhi University's most prestigious colleges. Now, starting to write at the early age of 7, she published her first novel, Cry the Peacock, in 1963. This was her first novel, Cry the Peacock, which was published in 1963. Now, this work immediately established her as a major voice in Indian literature in English. Since then, Desai has steadily published novels, short stories, and children's literature. Now, when we study Indian English literature, and when we come to the Gandhian era, that is from 1920 to 1947, we find trio, that is, we find the male triumvirate, the three gigantic personalities in the domain of Indian English fiction. We have Mulk Raj Anand, we have Raja Rao, and we have R.K. Narayan. Now, if we take these male triumvirate, now Anita Desai might usefully be described as in the vanguard of second generation of Indian writers writing in English. If the first generation we include Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao, and R.K. Narayan, she comes in the second generation. And along with Kamla Markandeya, Ruth Pravar Jhabwala, she constitutes the first generation of Indian women writing in English. Now, I have just told you about her background. So, her mixed background has enabled her to view India from something of an outsider's perspective, to see India both as an Indian and as a non-Indian see it. She herself admits in an interview with Andrew Robinson, if you just read her interview with Andrew Robinson, she talks about her Indian and German parentage. Now, she confesses that her mixed background, which was given to her, created for me a synthesis that is the base of all my work. That is actually the statement which was made by Anita Desai in one of the interviews given to Andrew Robinson, that the mixed parentage created for me a synthesis that is the base of all my work. And then she continues and she says that I see India through my mother's eyes as an outsider, but my feelings for India are my father's, of someone born here. Now, the original tension made her acutely sensitive to problems and crises of identity, which are natural to a society in a process of transformation. If you come to the world of Desai's fiction, it's largely domestic one. She is interested primarily in the lives of women in India since independence, the lives of women in the modern Indian nation state, rather than the history or politics of the subcontinent on a more extensive scale. Now, though the novel which I am going to discuss with you has a different kind of perspective, that it is based on the socio-political milieu, but very often most of the novels are based on the women characters, and the condition of the women characters is depicted by the novelist. What kind of reality does Anita Desai depict, or what kind of reality Anita Desai is trying to bring before the readers? Now, in most of the novels, beginning from Cry the Peacock, the focus is on the inner psyche of the characters. That is, she is actually focusing on the psychological realism. At one place, Anita Desai says that reality is merely 1/10 visible section of the iceberg. Now, this is one of the important quotes of Anita Desai. The reality is merely 1/10 visible section of the iceberg that one sees above the surface of the ocean. Art remaining 9/10 of it that lies below the surface. So, basically the reality is 9/10 which is below the surface, which is lying inside the character, and that is why she was trying to bring out the inner reality. Now, at present, Desai is a professor of humanities at in the United States, and her family is staying in USA. If you just read the biography and the literary development of the novelist, you'll find out that as a writer, she has been shortlisted for the Booker Prize 3 times. She's a prolific writer, wrote many novels, short story, children's books, and the Booker Prize is one of the prestigious awards, and she has been shortlisted 3 times, though she could not get it, but she was shortlisted 3 times for the Booker Prize. She received one very prestigious award, that is Sahitya Academy Award, in 1978 for her novel Fire on the Mountain. This is one of the important novels of Anita Desai. Now, not only this, she won the British Guardian Prize for the Village by the Sea. This is again a very important novel. And you see, you can sometimes wonder that the kind of languages she was familiar with. She grew up speaking Hindi with her neighbors and only German at her home. She also spoke Bengali, Urdu and English out of her house. She first learned to read and write in English at a school, and as a result, English became her literary language. She began to write in English at the age of 7 and published her first story at the age of 9. You can now understand the merit of the writer. Now, as I have just told you that she was shortlisted 3 times for the Booker Prize, though she could not get it, but she was lucky enough that her daughter Kiran Desai won this prestigious Booker Prize award for the novel The Inheritance of Loss, which was published in 2006. Now, I have seen that in most of the competitive examinations, such kind of questions are also asked, that who wrote The Inheritance of Loss, or for which novel Kiran Desai was given Booker Prize. So this is the novel The Inheritance of Loss, which was published in 2006, and for this novel she received the Booker Prize. Now, I'll tell you the names of all the novels of Anita Desai, but there is a novel Clear Light of the Day by Anita Desai. Now, she considers Clear Light of the Day as her most autobiographical work, because she says that it is set during her coming of age and also in the same neighborhood in which she grew up. So again, these are some factual questions which you will remember. Now, in 1993, her novel In Custody was adapted by Merchant Ivory Productions into an English film by the same name, directed by Smile Merchant, with a screenplay by Shahrukh Hussain. It won the 1994 President of India Gold Medal for Best Picture and stars Shashi Kapoor, Shabana Azmi and Om Puri. So, some of her novels were also, screened. And if you just come to the selected works of Anita Desai, so I'm just going to tell you the names, so at least you will remember the names of some, novels and short stories. So we have Cry the Peacock, which was published in 1963, I have just told you. And most of the characters, as I told you, most of the novels are based on the women characters, but she has taken some other themes also, the theme of diaspora and other in the novels. Then we have Voices in the City, which was published in 1965. Then we have the novel which is prescribed in your course, that is Bye Blackbird, 1971. Then we have The Peacock Garden, 1974. Then we have Where Shall We Go This Summer, 1975. Then we have Cat on a Houseboat, 1976. Then we have Fire on the Mountain, 1977. We have Games at Twilight, which is a collection of short stories. We have 1978. Then we have Clear Light of the Day, 1980. We have The Village by the Sea, 1982. Then we have In Custody, 1984. Then we have Baumgarten's Bombay, 1988. Then we have Journey to Ithaca, 1995. Then we have Feasting, 1999. Then we have again a collection of short stories, Diamond Dust and Other Stories, published in 2000. Then we have The Zigzag Way, published in 2004. And then we have The Artist of Disappearance, published in 2011. So this is in brief the introduction to the novelist. Now coming to this novel, the Bye Blackbird. Now you just look at the this picture also that I'll explain later, which is there at the cover page of the book. Now in this novel, Bye Blackbird, first thing which you'll remember is that the setting is in England. So from India, now the setting shifts to England. And in the first two novels, the focus is on the women characters. Feminist issues are raised by the novelist. But in this novel is set again the socio-political, it has socio-political background. Now, in this novel, Bye Blackbird, Desai captures the immigrant's dilemma on a strange new soil in the image of the blackbird. Now, nostalgia and alienation, rejection and acceptance for the colonizer's identity are, dualities deftly braided together in this work of East-West tension and oppositions. When you read this novel, you find out some important themes which are brought by the novelist. As I have just told you, problems of immigrants, alienation, identity crisis, East-West encounter. So these are the issues actually which are discussed by the novelist in this particular novel. Now, expatriation and the problems and the complexities which are related to it, this is actually the major theme of the 20th century literature. Anita Desai dives deep into the unconscious and subconscious psyche of the expatriates and reveals their nausea and nostalgia to their native land, and at the same time a sense of aloofness and alienation on the foreign land. Now, in this novel, you'll find out that Desai has portrayed the intense xenophobia and prejudice that manifested in England during the influx of the Commonwealth immigrants in 1950s and 1960s. Now, you see, the novel, I showed you this, the cover page, that in this novel, the word blackbird, which is used in the title of the novel, it is none other than the immigrants whom London says goodbye. Okay, bye blackbird. The blackbirds are not allowed on this particular land. So, blackbird, the word blackbird used in this, the title of the novel is for the immigrants, and to these immigrants, London says goodbye. No, you're not allowed to live on our land. Now, we have already seen that one novel by Kamala Markandeya, that is The Nowhere Man. This novel also deals with this kind of diasporic, the problem. Now, Anita Desai in this particular novel has very meticulously articulated the predicament as well as the experiences of displacement and immigration. Now, when you talk about the theme, so this again, the theme of displacement is also very prominent. Now, when you just see this novel, read it, then you will find out that it is written there that this is there at the just at the left page of this novel, that in England's green and grisly land, not many blackbirds, the colored immigrants from India, are able to make their permanent nests. The entire tree, look at this picture, this is the tree. The entire tree is preoccupied by white birds. Okay, these black birds are at the periphery. Okay, and these main branches are occupied by the white birds. Black birds are at the periphery. So, the entire tree has been occupied by white birds, and non-white birds are, or the colored birds are bidden goodbye by white birds. They have the peripheral or the marginal position, as I have showed you in this picture. They are never allowed to be in the company of the whites. Here we are reminded of Kipling's statement, "Oh, East is East and West is West, and twain shall never meet." East is going to West, but West is not accepting it. So I think the novel is justifying the statement of Rudyard Kipling that, "Oh, East is East and West is West, and twain shall never meet." Now, very briefly, I'll discuss the novel, then I'll discuss it in quite detail. That this particular novel, Bye Blackbird, is divided into three parts. Part 1 is entitled Arrival. So it has three sections. The part 1 has one title. The title of part 1 is Arrival. Now this section consists of 2 chapters, and it serves the purpose of exposition. It introduces something. We have three major characters in this novel. They are introduced in this particular part. The characters are Adit, Dev and Sara. These are the 3 major characters. Now, if you look at the characters, now we have the character of Adit, the character of Dev and the character of Sara. Now, Adit and Dev are 2 exiles of Indian origin and Sara is an English wife of Adit. When you read the novel, you find out that Adit is shown as an Anglophile and Dev as an Indophile. If you look at the picture of Adit, the character or personality of Adit, you'll find that he's Anglophile, that is, he's the lover of everything British. And when you come to the character of Dev, he's Indophile, he's the lover of Indian art and culture. This is part 1 of the novel, that is Arrival. In part 2 is entitled A Discovery and Recognition. The chief focus is laid on the character of Adit, who recognizes his own position in the foreign country and discovers that he is not meant for that country. Because he says, there is a line in the novel that everything tells you you are an outsider and not entitled to the country. Now he suffers from identity crisis and a sense of alienation. Part 3 is entitled Departure. It deals with denouement, an ending. Adit here is bidden farewell by England, and he departs for his country India, where he thinks his real life will begin. Now the philosophical import of this novel is just the opposite of what Keats has said in one of his poems. The line which I am going to tell you, whatever Keats has said, in this novel we have just opposite of that. The line is, ever let the fancy roam, pleasure is never at home. In the poem Fancy, he tells this line, ever let the fancy roam, pleasure is never at home. But in this novel, you'll find out that pleasure is always at home. It is the land of birth alone that holds our manifold identity, our fulfillment, and our salvation. So I'll continue with it in my next lecture, where I'll discuss each part of the novel in quite detail. Thank you very much.